Hi, welcome to Astrology for Gain Traders. My name's Olga Morales, and today I want to share something with you that I've basically found today doing a bit of research. I always like to know what's happening on a global scale in relation to planetary cycles. I mean, that's whole part of the future is but a repetition of a past, as Gan always tells us. So there's a lot happening already in the beginning of 2026, and it is astrologers have been saying that it was going to be a pivotal year, and of course, it's already started off that way. But let's have a look. I found something incredible, and it does center around Iran. Because at the moment there's major protests and they're saying that it's basically the same type of energy when there was a revolution in 1979. And so, of course, being who I am, that's 47 years ago, I had to look back. But honestly, you can't make this up. This blew my mind. And the fact that I'm not cherry picking, this is actually in the charts, and it's just phenomenal, and it gives me confidence with forecasting mundane affairs just when you see these patterns. So let's get started. This is the eclipse on the 17th of February coming up next month, and it happens to be also the new year, the Chinese New Year, when we move into the fire horse. Okay, which is special in a way because it's not going to, most New Year's are not eclipses, so this is a cycle in itself. But what's important about this eclipse, when put on the map geodetically, you can see that the planet of revolution, which is Uranus, okay, is on the midheaven. So it's going right through Tehran and Iran, and also, the eclipse is on the descendant going through this area. Okay. So, if you're new to astrology, I know might sound a little bit confusing, but just look at basically, I'm saying X marks the spot. Okay. And this is for this eclipse. There are actually other lines too. We've got Greenland. There's a lot of talk about taking US taking over Greenland somehow. So this is highlighted as well, and you can see other places that are highlighted. But for this talk, I just want to concentrate on the revolutionary axis here. Now, okay, so if you haven't been following the news, this is what's happening. They're saying Iran faces largest uprising since the 1979 revolution. Okay, now what I did was I went back to when there was a revolution in 1797 and what eclipses were happening that year. And of course, when I plotted it on the chart, this is when I'm thinking, oh, this can't be it, Olga. This is amazing. Well, it basically, the eclipse again is going, but it's actually rising through Iran. And you can see that Uranus, the planet of revolution, is actually on the IC. The IC is the land and the people. So this was the uprising of the people, right? And basically, these alignments are almost exact, but opposite, because Uranus is a planet of revolution. It's usually its cycle is 84 years. So when we halve it, it'll be 45. So it's just over a half at 47 years. So the lineup is almost exact, but not quite, but it's still in that zone. Okay. Now this is incredible, me looking at it as an astrologer with this. If you're new to astrocartography, this is a whole different way of having charts plotting it on the world map, and we can see where planets are active. And I'm using the Geodetic system, which was used by Safari and I believe GAN. I've been using it for many, many years, and it's a powerful tool for forecasting. So, what I've done here, and I thought this is another incredible thing. Like, I don't know, I love all this, but basically, when you set up the chart for Iran, Tehran, I should say, geodetically, the actual rising sign is 26 Leo. Okay, now close to this point, right, and this eclipse that actually happened um, in 1979 is at 29 degrees of Leo, which is actually conjunct the fixed star called Regulus. Now, would you believe that the actual flag that they had before the Islamic Revolution was a lion and a sun. Basically, this is the lion on its throne, which is Leo, right? It's the house of the sun. So it's a very powerful symbol, and they've been showing this flag quite a bit if you watch it, the news at the moment. And I just thought, how incredible. Is this a coincidence or is it just the way the world works, right? So if you don't know anything about the revolution, I just did a bit of a Google thing, and it moved. In 1979, Iran underwent a dramatic world-changing uprising known as the Iranian Revolution. It transformed Iran from a Western-backed monarchy, so they had a monarchy, and taken over by the Islamic Republic. Okay, so this was the birth of Islamic Republic. Iran abolished the monarchy. A new system based on Islamic law, Sharia law, was established, and so in April 1979. During the referendum, Iran officially became Islamic Republic of Iran. All right. So that was 47 years ago. Now the people are uprising against this. They want the monarchy back. Okay. How incredible. But also what's another thing that happened in 1979 was the US Embassy hostage crisis. So there was something happening there where 52 Americans were hostage for 444 days. And I do remember it. I mean, it was, yeah, I do remember all this when I was younger. So what I'm looking at here is the actual eclipse that we're having on the 17th of February, and you can see the alignment here. Here you can, do you remember in um, 47 years ago, the planet of revolution, Uranus, was actually down here on the IC, but now it's on the MC. Okay, you can see this eclipse on the descendant, so it's descending. Let me show you the comparison of 79 and 2026. You can see that we had the eclipse on this side in Leo, and now we're having the eclipse on the in Aquarius. So they're opposite one another, and Uranus, a planet of revolution, is going from the 10th house, which is all to do with the government, and to the fourth house is about the people. So it's always the people, the land, and the government. Incredible. This is really incredible. For people that maybe don't know a lot about astrology, but for us astrologers, this is incredible repeating of revolutionary energy, but focused on a particular area on the world uh, map. This is not made up. It's incredible. Okay, so this is what happens if you people that are interested. You can see that 79. You can see all the planets here in Leo, right? Which is Regulus, the lion, and here we have it on the opposite side. On the descendant, we've still got the planet of revolution on the more important axis of these charts. Okay, so the fixed signs are really important for this part of the world, and obviously it's they're being triggered at the moment with these eclipses. Okay, so this is the lion. This is Regulus. This is what's represents this Iran. The rising sign of um, Iran is conjunct Regulus, and honestly, you can't make this up. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That's just something I had to share with you. Cycles repeat, history repeats, and even areas on the earth get activated because of these cycles. And this is what real astrology is about. It's focusing on research into cycles and how they repeat, and understanding that we are part of this cosmic patterns that play out. So hopefully you enjoyed my presentation, and thanks for listening.